So here's what I do to find. See, this is recycling only, and I've been looking around. I've been looking for uh, packaging materials, dunnage, whatever you want to call it. It's been slim pickings, probably because of the virus. A lot of businesses aren't open, that type of thing. And look what I found. Looky. Lots, well, a good amount. The bubble here, or this stuff here is not so great. Depends, but this is the good stuff here. So anyway, I'm gonna grab all that. The little joys, right? It's free. This is 9 items for Amazon. These 2 are merchant fulfilled, and these are all FBA. So those are what I pulled out of that 3rd Gaylord of mixed media. Now over here, this stack here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14, because that's all one together. 14 items for eBay individually of the CDs. And then I added a bunch over here. I don't know how many. 100 or whatever. And then this box here, I filled up almost half of it. And then this one I filled up with CDs that are going to go locally. So that's kind of how that breaks down. Of course, I'm not including all the DVDs. I pulled a ton of DVDs out of there. Probably like, what did I say? Like 500 anyway for lots. eBay lots, and then I pulled, you saw the stacks that I had, so a bunch for local sale as well, including a lot of box sets, TV box sets. So that's how that 1 Gaylord broke down. Everyone's going to be different. Sometimes I'll get more for Amazon, sometimes less. That was hardly anything because it was a lot of DVDs. So we'll see with the rest of them how I do. I'll let you know about that. So I'm packing up CD lots. This is one comprised of 3 different lots. I have to invoice the buyer. And then I've got Madonna lot, these other ones, so 4 over here, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7 lots that sold over the weekend. It's Monday. And so this one here, as you can see, I'm putting some packing materials on either side, air bubbles, and some paper so that it's pretty secure here. Well, this moves a little bit. Might put a little more there. But as you can see, there's a lot of space here left, so I could pack it with packing materials, dunnage, but that's just a waste. So instead, I'm going to score all the way around and resize the box. So what I've done here is I just take the blanking right now, box cutter. And what I'll do is I'll just go at the level where the CDs are. So I'll go right around here. I'll start scoring. I'll just stab, every, I don't know, whatever. Leave a little space in between because I don't want to completely cut it. Complete line. So just create some space in between where I'm cutting, where I'm creating the holes. I'll go all the way around. Where am I left here? So I went all the way around. And then I'm over here. It's hard to do it with one hand, so that, whoops, can't even see it, like that, that. I'd do it better if I had 2 hands. And then that one, it's not always a perfect line, but close enough. Wow, I cannot do this with one hand. And then once I'm done, I go here to the corner to where they meet, where the scores meet, and then I will just cut up. Wow, I cannot. So hold on. So I just went from where the 2, where I scored across where they meet here at the edge, the corner, and then I just went all the way up. And then I'll do that with all of them. So they all have been cut up on the corners, each corner, all 4 corners where the scoring meets here. And then I just fold them over. So fold one side. Of course, this isn't going to work easily with one hand. And then there you go. So I've resized the box. I'll take off all the stickers. Don't worry about it. And now it is smaller and it's snug. And the CDs won't be able to move around so much. And plus, when you fold it over, you know, four different times, provides some nice cushion on top there, just in case a postal worker wants to toss the box around, which you never know. So just a little something that I do. It depends too, of course, how much packing material I have. Sometimes I'm flush with packing material. I've got boxes of it, so instead of spending the time to do that, I'll just throw in a bunch and fill it up if I want to do it quickly. So it just depends, but that's a nice way to save some packing material if you don't have that much, or if you're buying it, of course. So try that out next time if you don't know about it. I'm sure a lot of you already do, but you never know. Maybe I'll help that one person and it'll make all the difference in their life. So check out this one here. This is 18 CDs, one CD lot. And the box was actually, as you could tell, much taller. And there was a ton of space. I would never even consider putting in packing material to fill in the empty space. So what I ended up having to do is create a much smaller box. But as I folded these pieces over, they were too long. So they were like that, and they weren't going to fit. So I just cut them off. As you can see, I cut off four pieces there. But you fold it over. Man, I need a handless situation. Okay, and there you go. So it's a much smaller, not made in China. Well, at least not the CDs. Although who knows? And there you go. So it's a tiny box now. Well, tiny, but it's pretty small compared to that tall box before. And it's going to be in there really tight. Not going to move around. And hopefully it'll arrive in one piece. Got back to the warehouse. And there's no cars again. Actually, there was one car over there. The guy that has his business at the end, he was there for a little bit and then he left. And there were actually a couple of cars here for the business that I was talking about the other day over here, and the owner was here too. But it's 3:15, 3:20, and now they're all gone. And normally there's at least 2 or 3 cars over there and 2 over here. At least. So this morning it was a little busier, but still not the same. This keylord is in fact not empty. It actually does still have a lot in there, but I've started to dig in. I started to pull out DVDs just like I've done with the other ones. DVDs first, they're the largest ones. They're the ones I want to get up for sale quicker so that I can, make my money back on, well, I've already made my money back with the other Gaylords, but anyway, I just want to get through the DVDs first, because those are ones that require more effort. And I can't sell them on Amazon, so I want to deal with those first. I'm making some piles over here, some stacks. Those are the 3 I start with, just 3 tall stacks, and I'm going to jump into it and start going through them. Checking the disc, making sure that there's a disc there, it's the right disc, etc. And then start sorting them out like I did before. TV box sets go in one pile. DVDs I'm going to save for the local sale, go in another pile. And then I will put the other ones, well, I'll separate the kids into one pile, and then I'll do another pile for the eBay lots. The kids will be eBay lots too, but kids stack, and then adult stack for eBay lots. And that'll be most of it, basically. So my stack here of individual eBay items or buy it now items is grown. This one here has been growing for a while. That's been there for a while. But anyway, I've got all those individually to sell on eBay. And then all of this stuff here. I just created this this lot that I'm going to do buy it now. It's kids DVDs, religious themed. I'm going to sell or list those. Well, I think there's 16 of them for $40. Prices are a little all over the place, but they can go for good money if you put a bunch of them together. And I've got a bunch of random stuff here, some video games, some DVDs, some good amount of CDs. I even have a record there. So I've got, I don't know how many that is, but anyway, I got a good amount that I need to list. You know, going through this quarantine and everything that's going on with the coronavirus, COVID-19, it's really made me realize how I need to do what I was talking about doing before I got the warehouse. And when I first got it, is to hire somebody to help me list on eBay, and then ideally also list on Amazon as I get enough of those together. But eBay for sure. Set up a computer station here, and then table space so they can take the photos of everything and then just transfer them over to the computer and immediately start listing. While I continue to do other things like sort Gaylords or any bulk buys that I've made, any other stuff that does not involve listing on eBay. And ideally, I would like them to do the lots, CD, DVD lots, and the other lots, and the individual items for eBay. I gotta say, listing on eBay for me is one of my least favorite activities for a variety of reasons, but yeah, it's one of those that I'm not a big fan of. So Amazon FBA using AccelerList is a lot faster, a lot simpler. It's still not fun. I still would rather not do it. I'd rather have someone else do it too. If I have somebody I've trained to list on eBay, and then I can train them to list on Amazon through AccelerList, get a shipment together, etc., do that whole process. That's going to be awesome. There's a lot of moving parts, right? I have to get internet, which I don't have here yet. I'm just using my internet at home to do all my listing and shipping. I photograph here for the most part, like 95% of the time. Occasionally I will photograph individual items at home. I just did that this last week or so. When I'm unable to come into the warehouse, especially now because of the kids not going to school, I've got to have things to do at home when I'm not able to come to the warehouse, which is usually going to be at least a couple days a week, 2 to 3 days a week, at least 2. Try to make it just 2, but anyway, where I can only come here maybe in the afternoon for 2 or 3 hours, but in the morning, if I have to have something to do outside of homeschooling the kids for the business that's not shipping, then it would be taking photographs and listing individual stuff for sale, or even starting to try to list on Amazon, but I'm not doing that yet. Anyway, so I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but yeah, the idea is to hire. I'm just realizing how, right now I wouldn't be able to have someone here, but it would be nice, right, to have somebody that, as it's common sense. This is not anything revolutionary, but as I'm doing some other type of activity, work-related activity here, they can be listing on Amazon or on eBay, and occasionally on Amazon, but mostly on eBay. So I'm just thinking, like, as I'm taking a day and a half to sort all the DVDs, and everything, right? Go through all the DVDs out of the Gaylord, do all that physical work, sort, organize it, make sure the discs are there, check the discs, organize them like I just talked about in my process. And then once I'm done doing all that, then I gotta put them together in boxes for sale in lots on eBay. And then I gotta take photographs, I gotta weigh it, all that stuff, and then I gotta go list it. While I'm doing all of that, all the sorting and organizing, they can be listing on eBay, so they can get up in even 2 or 3 hours, get up 40 items or whatever, and those things will start selling and just do that week in and week out. The only thing is, one of my, worries is that I won't have enough stuff for them to do. But if it proves to make sense, if I'm paying them $10, $11 an hour, let's say they're working 10 hours a week, $400+ a month every 4 weeks that I'm paying them. If I can't make $400+ off of them listing, let's say they could list, if they work 10 hours a week, I would hope that they would be able to list, 100 items, ideally. But 400 items, let's say 300 items out of a month. These are auctions. These are also individual ones. That's a lot. I have just under 400 individual items for sale. Buy it now. I'll just say buy it now items for sale on eBay. And those sell really slow. And one of the problems is because, I'm not going in there and repricing. I'm not adding new inventory. As you add new inventory, I find that sales in general for individual items start increasing. Older stuff will sell, newer stuff will sell. There'll be more activity. There seems to be that correlation. So anyway, if they're adding even 200, 250 items a month, 300 is a ton. Let's say 250, right? That's a lot. I would sell a good percentage of that within 4 weeks. I could at least probably sell 10-20% of that, unless it's all really long tail stuff, and it varies. Some of my stuff, I try to price it to sell. Some of it that's worth more money, I'll price it, where it really should be. But sometimes even the higher price stuff will sell fast as well. Just depends on what it is. But some of the stuff will take longer to sell. Some of the stuff will take months to sell. It could take a year, but it's the same concept as Amazon. You got to keep adding more and more. So let's say I have someone adding at least 200 items. Now this would be, so let's say 250, right? 50 to 100 auctions, and then 200 individual items. And I'm paying them $450 a month, let's say 10 hours a week, depending on what the hourly is, but let's say that about $450. I should do well. And it's also compounding over time. The more activity that there is with my account, if they're listing on there every day, 5 days a week, 20 days out of the month, I should see a lot more sales, a lot more activity going on, or eBay will see the activity and should award me, it's kind of a mystery, right? But they like activity. So my sales should go up over time, the sell-through rate should be better. And it's just the more you have, the more you sell. And then during the busier times like Q4, times like this, which are totally unforeseen and random when a lot of people are at home, but there's ups and downs with online sales, and the more I have up there, the better. So I just have stuff sitting here and not making any money. And while I keep plugging away at the Gaylords, because I have to decide, do I just go home and list all that and take a couple days and then get back to the Gaylords? Or do I continue with the Gaylords, get through all the Gaylords, do all the auction stuff, and then dive into the individual stuff for sale on eBay? People probably have different opinions. Maybe I feel like I should be listing a little bit individual stuff on eBay, but it's not going to be consistent. So that's why part of me wants to not do that. But I'll end up probably listing some anyway, just because I'll be at home more because of the quarantine. So anyway, but it's just making me realize how important that is. So, but there's a lot of things that someone could do, not just like, let's say there's a week, I have someone coming in, let's say 2 hours a day. I don't know. This is, I'm not sure what the schedule would be like, but let's say 9 to 11 or 9 to 12, let's say 15 hours a week, whatever it is. Maybe I say, I only have 10 items for you to list those items. They list them in an hour or less. And then what am I going to do now? Well, help me organize for the local sale. Can you go through the CDs and make sure if there's any, cracked hinges, which are, I call the hinges these parts of the CD. If they're cracked, so you try to take off the cover and the thing comes off or whatever. Oh, can you alphabetize these CDs? Can you go through all the CDs and fill in the empty space, all the boxes of CDs for local sale, and fill in the empty spaces with other CDs. You know, I don't know, stuff like that. Can you do stuff that would help for the local sale? Organize here, this, organize that. So, yeah, and it would make me either have to continually buy more bulk, or I got to figure out a funnel to have people donating all the time to me. But either way, there's just got to be more coming in if I'm going to hire somebody, and especially if they're going to stick around. I'm not going to have a ton of hours for them initially. I don't have the space to warrant, or I don't have the space to fit, 20 Gaylords in here and have them working 40 hours a week and plowing through stuff. Because I have the local sale, half of this warehouse, probably more than half at this point, is being used for the local sale, which is fine, because I want that to become a really significant part of my income in addition. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling all over the place, but it's really made me realize how I feel that I should take that next step. A huge, massive step for my business was getting the warehouse space, and it was the right decision at the right time. It felt awesome to do it. I haven't looked back. I haven't felt worried about it at all, being able to pay for it or anything like that. I needed it. I've been talking about having a local sale for so long. I finally have it. It took a lot of work to get all the stuff in here and to set it up and to continue to tweak it. It's still going to be a lot more work. I'm still tweaking it. It's probably going to take me a year or so before I really have a hold of this local sale thing and figured out how to properly advertise and how to do the sale and how to do the signs and just everything, right? So it's going to take some time. But yeah, that was a big step to get the warehouse, and then the next big step will be hiring somebody, because that's the thing. You got to find the right person that will stick around, that won't work for 3 or 6 months and then just leave. It'll stick around hopefully for years. I'd love to have somebody working 30, 35 hours a week with me if I have enough work, right? I mean, if it's 30 hours a week, just do simple math. That's $300 a week. If it's $10 an hour, so that's $1,200 I'd have to pay them on top of the rent that I have. So I'd be, on the hook for at least $2,100 month in and month out. So that if I'm paying them $1,200, they, their labor, their time, their effort has got to bring in. I don't want it to bring in way more than double that. More than $2,400. I want them to bring in like $5,000 a month. I mean, 30 hours a week? Jeez. My eBay store should explode to have thousands of items and tons of auctions and just, yeah. So in order for me to get to that point, though, I got to hire somebody, find somebody, set it all up and train them and see if they're going to stick around. Start out slow, see how busy I can keep them, and also what it's translating to are my eBay numbers. If they're listing, let's say 200 items a month, individual buy it now items, and my sales go up significantly, dramatically on eBay after a month or two, then hey, that makes sense, right? I go from making, let's just say, just using easy numbers, if I go from making $1,000 in sales on individual items to, $2,000, I don't know. If I see a dramatic uptick and stuff is moving out, selling. Because individual eBay sales are pretty slow right now. I know a lot of people are doing extremely well on eBay, and it's because I'm not listing. I'm not listing individual. I'm focusing on the auctions. I'm just plowing through the auctions. But if I'm listing every day or have someone listing for me 5 days a week, multiple days a week even, I don't see why sales wouldn't go up. But anyway, so it's got me thinking about that a lot. And I think that's definitely the next move after, quarantine is over. I need to set up a computer in here and get internet, get all that set up, and then see how that's going to work out, hire somebody. But anyway, let me get to these DVDs before the whole day goes away and I'm making this video. So let me do that. I also just wanted to address the situation um, in regards to other business owners. Resellers, but also non-resellers have nothing to do with it. Just stuff that I've witnessed in our lives around us, with businesses that we come into contact with, and then just watching other people online on YouTube talk about their businesses. These are people that have that are beyond their house, beyond their garage. They've rented out space, either office space or warehouse space or both, whatever it may be, and they might rely on a local sale or a lot of local business transactions going on, people showing up to buy stuff in bulk from them, or them selling stuff off to people picking it up. Or like I said, having a local sale like I do. So I don't want to make this too long, but just I've noticed that some businesses, and this is warranted with some, right? Definitely. But there's just some businesses that say, I don't know how long we can last, maybe 2-3 months, and then we got to go out of business, or we got to close it down because we can't afford to keep the doors open. So as a reseller, right, when I got this unit, I made sure that I had money saved in case there were some rough months, or in case things just didn't go as planned. And for whatever reason, the local sale didn't do well, or it took a long time for it to do well, or sales just slowed down online. I made sure that I could weather that storm for a while. And so my advice, if you're going to go beyond your house, beyond your garage, beyond your home office, if you're going to get any type of office space or warehouse space, shared office, shared warehouse space, whatever it is, that you should save up. I would say the bare minimum should be at least 3 months of expenses, but I would go beyond. I would say 6 to 12 months of expenses would be in my advice, so that you could weather a 6 month. I mean, that seems unlikely, but you could weather a 3 to 6 month financial storm or disaster, or whatever, sales tank, you lose your Amazon account, or temporarily or permanently, or I don't know, weird things happen like a pandemic, right? This is the perfect example to shore up your business, right? To make sure that you're prepared for these types of things. No one knew that this was going to happen, or when it was going to happen. What I mean is the virus, COVID-19. No one knew that, but it's just an extreme example of disasters that can happen, right? I mean, it could be an earthquake, it could be a flood, it could be a tornado, it could be personal disaster. Someone gets ill, someone dies, whatever. You lose your job, there's all kinds of things that can happen. So you can apply this to your personal life, also your business life, but I suggest, at least 6 months, so you could weather it. And then, you don't need to be, I'm gonna keep this unit for 2 years. I mean, if it takes 2 years for your business to turn around, then definitely that's probably not a good idea. But give yourself at least 3 to 6 months, right? Right now, it's been a few weeks here in California where things have really shut down. I mean, it's probably been like 3 to 4 weeks, but where I've noticed around me that it's really shut down the last 2 to 3 weeks. And a lot of businesses are closed, retail businesses, restaurants are only doing pickup, takeout, pickup and delivery. You can't go to the local store. There's no thrift stores are closed. No garage sales, no estate sales, no library sales. How long is that going to last? I mean, we don't know. It's already been about a month, so will it be another 2 months? Will it be another 3 months? Will it be until July, August, until things are quote unquote normal? I don't know. But thankfully, I make most of my money online, right? So I will continue to sell and do well, and won't have to worry about using up a bunch of the money that I saved. Or I won't have to use any of it, hopefully, to pay my lease. I should be able to pay with eBay and Amazon sales, because I don't have any local sales. So merchant fulfilled, the FBA items I have, 900 plus FBA items I have, and eBay auctions and individual eBay items. Between all those, I should not have a problem paying the lease, and that's proven to be the case for this month. So, and that's, fortunately I have these Gaylords. Of course, once I go through the Gaylords, I will still have a lot more to list on eBay, and I'll have some stuff to list merchant fulfilled. But I also can start digging into these CDs and start selling some of them by group. Anyway, I probably have, more than a month. I'd probably say I have like at least 2 months worth of work before I get to the point to where I'm like, yeah, I have nothing else to list on eBay. I have nothing else to list on Amazon. I have no inventory. My point was, though, that if you're spending thousands of dollars a month on a warehouse or an office space and you have several employees, you should probably make sure that you have at least 3 to 6 months, at the bare minimum 3 months. But I would say go for 6 months saved up. So if you're spending $3,000 a month on a warehouse, you should have at least $9,000 for 3 months, if not 18 grand for 6 months. It might sound crazy, but that's the safe way to do it, the less stressful way, because when things happen, it's unlikely that this will happen anytime soon again, of this global scale where things just close down. But if anything happens, in your area, in your region, in your personal life, in your business life that disrails your business, you got to make sure, unless you're just going to bail out and just get out completely, you got to make sure that you have enough money to pay your rent, your lease, whatever expenses you have and overhead you have. I understand if you have employees, you can't just indefinitely pay them, but at least be able to pay for the space that you have. So that's my 2 cents anyway. Do your best to prepare financially for things, not necessarily this extreme, but you get my point. Things that can happen that can really, really derail your business. I've made some headway. As you can see, you don't see too many DVDs now on top. I started digging down into there around the edges, pulling out a lot of DVDs. And there's still a lot underneath all the CDs, but I will continue with that tomorrow. So far, I filled up that smaller box back there, DVDs, which had some already. And then this one I'm starting to fill up. I need to actually get some big boxes. So far, this is all the TV box sets, so got some cool stuff in there. This is all going local. A few Blu-rays. Those are actually missing a disc each, those 4. See if I find it. And these are all for local. These are all actually for eBay so far. So finding a few things that I can sell on eBay, spending a little more time looking that up, and I'm starting to compile some loose DVDs, and I'll be able to sell those in a lot on eBay. I'll do movies, and then I'll do kids programming. I'll probably just break it up like that. And they tend to do pretty well as a lot on eBay, as a 7-day auction. So that's it. I'm going to head home now. I am going to, tomorrow, I might not actually be able to come to the warehouse. If I am able to, it'll be later in the afternoon. And then I'll just keep on plugging away at the DVDs. Hopefully by the end of Wednesday, I'll be done with the DVDs, and by the end of the week, be done with that Gaylord. At this rate, it kind of seems like it's going to take me a week, but we'll see. It's Monday, so we'll see if it takes me a week to get through that Gaylord. I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit and see if I can get through a little sooner by Friday, start digging into the other Gaylord. Yeah, the sooner the better to get through those so I can get to listing all those individual items on eBay. And then once I'm done with that, actually before that, I'm gonna have to deal with all the CD lots. I'll probably do the CD lots first, so it'll take me some time. But anyway, get ahead of myself yet. So thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Like, no joke, stay safe. Stay away from people. Wash your hands a lot. And as always, as best as you can under these conditions, keep booking.